Okay, hello. In this video, we're going to talk about CS 151 and how things are going to work for the online section of the course. So we'll be putting this video up so you can watch it. It'll be listed in the links and lectures somewhere near the top. And there's a text document that summarizes the plan. Okay, so I'll go through each of these and then you can read it as well. So first of all, what you're going to need. Okay, so one thing is you need to have access to a computer with a good internet connection, and it doesn't matter what kind of computer it is for the most part. We'll have setup information that you can get your computer set up the way you need to if it's a Windows, Mac, Linux, Chromebook, so any of those should be fine. For the exams, the two of the exams, we will be using a system that I believe requires a Windows or Mac computer with the ability to install the testing program. Okay, so that's two different times in the semester when you'll need to have access to a Windows or a Mac computer, doesn't it? So yours or friends or something. Okay, so if you think that's going to be a problem, you need to let me know now. This is Jeff Kinney, the instructor of the online section. So whatever computer that you're normally using for your coursework, you need to be able to set it up with some new programs. So if you're wanting to use a computer at a library that you can't actually install anything on, that's not going to work. You have to have a computer that you can put some extra programs on for programming. And you have to have time. I know that there are some in-service teachers that are taking this course to learn programming. I'm estimating this class will take you 5 to 8 hours a week. There will be a few hours of videos, depending on the week, and then working on the assignments and reading through the text. So if you don't have that time, then you're not going to get everything out of the course that you could. You should get a pretty good idea after the first couple weeks how things will be going. So the homework assignments, the plan is that they will normally be due either Sunday or Wednesday at midnight. So just in terms of organizing your weekly time, we're going to try to stick to either one of those potential due dates depending on when they're released, and trying to give you at least half a week notice. And if that ends up being an issue, then you need to let me know. So normally when there's a homework assignment, there will be some document describing it, and I'll give you a video explaining what you're supposed to do and giving a demo of how my solution works, so that then you can so you start working on the program on the assignment, and then you can go back and check the video demo again after you started working on it, because you will notice things the second time watching it that you maybe didn't notice the first time. And we'll normally give 2 days notice. Oftentimes it will be more than that. Often it will be up to about a week that we plan ahead. But we want to give you always at least 2 days notice. Quizzes, the plan is to give you a 24-hour window and to have quizzes take place on Mondays. So if that's not going to work for you, then let me know right away so that we can potentially see about adjusting that schedule. The quizzes will be like a 15-minute thing, that just like it would be during a regular class. But the plan is to give you a 24-hour window during which you could take it. And if it would help to make this Sundays and Mondays, or Mondays and Tuesdays, let me know. I was thinking Mondays because if the homework's due on Sunday, you just did homework, and now I want to quiz you on it on Monday. The quizzes are normally going to be open notes, open internet, because people could have multiple devices, or it's hard to enforce not using notes or internet. So I'm just going to say you can use it, but you're not allowed to communicate with anybody. So it has to be you at a computer, you're using whatever's on the computer, but you're not asking somebody else for help on a quiz. There's ways that I might be able to tell. So convince yourself that I will know if you're getting help from somebody on a quiz. Attendance, there's 2 different attendance that we'll be checking. So one is once you get set up on your account to our server, which will be within the next couple days. Once you get set up, I want to see you logged in at least twice per week. So at least twice per week, you log into our server, and you'll know what that means soon. And for an hour total. So you're normally going to be logged in far more than that, but that's just a minimum baseline to see that you've been working on the course. So you shouldn't have a week go by where you don't do anything. You'll lose attendance points, and that means the attendance points are there to try and help you have the motivation to keep up and not fall behind. The second attendance points is going to be on a chat system, which uses a software called Mattermost, and it's on a server with this link, and I'll give you a separate video showing you how that system works and how you're going to log into it. But so what I'll be looking for there is 3 posts per week, and those can be questions or they can be answers or whatever. So oftentimes people will be asking about either homework assignments or something in the reading that you had further questions about. So 3 times per week, either you ask something, and that's helpful to just sort of have a nice discussion going, or you answer somebody else's question. And it's okay to answer other people's questions. So if somebody's stuck on something in a homework and somebody logs in and says, I'm kind of stuck on this is what I was working on, but it didn't work. You don't want to just say, help me with the homework. That's not a good question. But you could say specifically what was going wrong, and then somebody else could answer and say, oh, I think I was having that problem as well. It's because of whatever. So you're not going to be giving each other code, but helping each other out is perfectly fine, because in a regular class, you would be having those types of conversations. So it's fine to do it online as well. All right, so the expectation will be at least 3. And to help me out, then the first 3 times you post a question or an answer in the chat system, you'll just put points in the post somewhere, so that I could do a search for points and see everybody's what they're getting attendance credit for. Exams are going to be on the computer. The second 2 exams are going to be on a system called Examity that I'll introduce you to later, but that's the one that needs a Windows or Mac computer. I'll be getting information about that. It's not going to cost us anything. It's a service where it's going to enforce that you only have the test open on your computer, your webcam's on, somebody's on the other end of the webcam to say, okay, is everything working on your computer? Are you having any trouble? And I'm going to monitor your screen and your webcam to make sure you're not using anything else. So that's the way to enforce a closed book, closed note test. So we'll just do that for the second 2 tests that are worth more of the points, but that system needs a Windows or a Mac. Office hours I talked about. So when I'm having my office hours in my office, people will be coming in potentially from my other courses or for whatever reason. But I'll also have the chat system. So this system here is a chat system where we can be discussing in real time. So I'll have that open as well, as long as I'm not if you post a question, as long as I'm not in the middle of talking to somebody in person, then I'll respond to those questions as they come up. And I'm planning on doing these 2 evening office hours. I'm thinking that if the homeworks are due Sunday and Wednesday, then that's probably when people are going to be on asking questions. So we'll see how that goes. The lectures are going to be listed over under the links and lectures. Try to keep them to 5 to 20 minutes each. And there will be some kind of document that goes with it as well. Either it's going to be notes in a wiki, or it's going to be based off of a certain chapter of the book, or there will be code that we're typing in the lecture, so you have something to look at after the video. Normally there would be 3 hours of lecture. Typically videos are more efficient because nobody's asking questions. So somewhere between 1 and 3, depending on the week, is what to expect. We discussed the graduate assistants in the lab, so I will be trying to make sure that they are having the chat system open and they'll respond to questions there as well. So they'll be in our class in the chat system. The university guidelines say that I'm supposed to grade things within 2 weeks after they're turned in. For an online class, I think it's more important to try and have a quick turnaround on that, because it's just easier to fall behind or to not have good communication. So I'll always try to have everything graded within 1 week. Homeworks and quizzes and exams. Okay, so that's how the online course, those are sort of the rules that you can expect to follow. I'll do a separate video on using the chat system once that is up and running, which right now it is not. Okay.